it's amazing how if you just get up every morning and keep plugging and have some discipline and keep learning, and it's amazing how it works out okay. And I don't think it's wise to have an ambition to be president of the United States or a billionaire or something like that, because the odds are too much against you. Much better to aim low. I did not intend to get rich. I wanted to get independent. I just overshot.
There's no doubt that every human on earth desires to become great, to become wealthy, to live their dream life. However, while we may all have this dream, very few actually attain it. And more so, not everyone who attains great wealth maintains it. Charlie Munger is one of the reputable billionaires who has successfully built wealth from when he was a young man and has grown that wealth substantially. In this video, we'll break down Charlie's formula for getting rich. It's quite straightforward, but different from your average financial advice.
I have not made our way in life by making successful macroeconomic predictions and betting on our conclusions. Our system is to swim as competently as we can, and sometimes the tide will be with us and sometimes it will be against us. But by and large, we don't much bother with trying to predict the tides because we plan to play the game for a long time. I recommend to all of you exactly the same attitude.
Charlie Munger is a billionaire investor currently worth about $2.3 billion. He's the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway and owns several investments in stocks. Charlie's advice on how to become rich is unique. According to Charlie Munger, all you have to do is find a way to hit the $100,000 milestone. The faster you can get to your first $100,000 saved and invested, the faster you can become a millionaire. This sounds simple, right? Well, as simple as this may sound, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. You see, Charlie Munger himself said that your first $100,000 will be the hardest. However, you must do whatever it takes to get there, even if it means becoming strict on your spending habits, working several jobs, etc. Now, you may be wondering why Charlie stressed so much about gathering such a figure. Why is $100,000 the magic number? From Charlie's experience and technical standpoint, once you make your first $100,000, it becomes easy to double it or even triple it as you please. This happens because of something called compounding interest. Compound interest is simply an interest calculated based on both the initial investment capital and the accumulated interest from previous periods. If you've ever heard of the snowball effect, compound interest is what makes this same effect happen in finance. Snowballs are always hard to get that first snowball done and let it roll downhill. It accumulates mass until it becomes a huge boulder of snow at the end of the hill. This is exactly how compound investing works. Once you've accumulated a huge figure, all you need to do is invest it right and then watch the magic happen. To put it into perspective, let's take a simple scenario here. Let's say you save up to $100,000 by 30. After you invest your money in an asset or business with a 10% annual return and never add a single penny to your investment. In this case, you'll end up with $670,000 after just 10 years of investment. And in 30 years, you'll have $1.7 million sitting in your account for doing absolutely nothing. Isn't that mind-blowing? Your initial $100,000 has multiplied exponentially to become over $1 million. This is typically the easiest way to become a multimillionaire, and Charlie knows it, so he stresses so much on getting that first $100,000 for a start. Note that these values would never reach such a massive height if you were working with a lower amount. A $10,000 investment, for instance, would only yield $174,000 after 30 years. Also, notice that our previous calculation, you're not adding a dime to your initial investment. But here's the thing, if you were to add some money to your initial investment, say $1,000 annually, your money would grow to over $3.5 million after 30 years. Shocking, right? Now that you know the power of a $100,000 investment, I'm sure the big question on your mind is, how do I make my first $100,000? Well, that's the interesting part. Once again, we'll consider Charlie Munger's advice and practical steps to hit this milestone.
The process for most people is the first $100,000. If you have a standing start at zero, getting together $100,000 is a long struggle for most people. And I would argue that the people who get there relatively quickly are helped, if they're passionate about being rational, very eager and opportunistic, and steadily underspend their income.
First thing on the list is to have an investment mindset. Let's face it, no job would make you a millionaire. So, if you're still bent on cashing out from your monthly paycheck, you may find it hard to even start saving, much less accumulate $100,000. You have the desire to become wealthy and financially free. This desire will drive you and encourage you even when the hard days come, when you're tempted to give up on your investment plan. Also, set up weekly or monthly goals describing how you'll save weekly or monthly. A savings plan. Follow this savings plan strictly. Saving is hard, and it gets tempting to spend money once it has accumulated to huge amounts. This brings us up to the next important thing on the list: minimizing expenses. Charlie Munger would never have gotten to his billion-dollar net worth if he hadn't learned at an early age to spend a lot less than he earns. This is one lifestyle you'll notice with billionaires like Charlie Munger. They don't spend money just for the fun of it. Charlie's longtime friend and business partner, Warren Buffett, is even more strict with his spending. Warren still drives his old car and seldom carries up to $1,000 in his wallet, despite the fact that he's worth billions. These men are still applying the same principles that helped them generate wealth in the first place. The principle is this: it doesn't matter how much you earn. What really matters is how much you spend. Consider this. A man earns $50,000 yearly but spends $40,000 yearly. Another man earns $30,000 but only spends $15,000 out of it. Who's richer of the two? The second man, of course. However, in the eyes of certain people in society, the first man may be considered richer because he'll buy flashy stuff, drive fancy cars, and spend lavishly. Well, this is the problem most people make when they earn a substantial amount of money. Financial experts call it lifestyle inflation. You simply delay your journey to wealth and financial freedom when you consume more than you should. Remember, true wealth isn't how much you spend, but how much you have stocked up, whether in cash or investments. So build discipline in spending. Don't spend to impress. Buy only stuff you need. One trick to help you build financial discipline is setting a goal, like the $100,000 Charlie Munger recommends. You see, beyond taking advantage of compounding interest, saving up your first $100,000 helps you build financial discipline and master your emotions. Indiscipline and emotional spending are two things that keep most people poor or average. As we said earlier, it's not really about how much you earn. It's about how much you save from what you earn. Your net worth is never calculated off your income. It's calculated off your assets, investments, and savings. So, do what Charlie Munger does. Practice frugal living.
This business of controlling the costs and living simply, and that was the secret. How much money? Warren and I had tiny little bits of money. We always underspent our incomes, and we invested, and if you live long enough, you end up rich. It's not very complicated.
Now that you know the importance of frugal living, what's the final way to get that $100,000 fast? Well, maximize your income potential. The more money you make, the more you can save, right? Well, so make more money. Work at a side job if you have to. This is where most people give up. It's why Charlie said to do whatever it takes. It takes strong determination to work hard and earn much, only to spend so little. But remember, you have a goal to become a millionaire one day. So go hard on yourself, if necessary, to build that successful future where you never have to worry about money again. The truth is, even with a frugal lifestyle, How fast you attain your first $100,000 would largely depend on your income. And so, if you're earning $2,000 a month from your job, saving $1,000 every month would mean having to wait 100 months or 8 years to gather up $100,000. This isn't so bad, but you could also speed things up by having an alternative source of income. There are many ways to do this, especially now in the 21st century. You could learn a skill, offer freelance services online, or set up a blog or YouTube channel, sell stuff online, and so on. The options are limitless.
The secret is that we're good at lifelong learning. Warren is so much better in some ways in his 70s and 80s than he was younger that it's almost awesome. If you keep learning all the time, you have a huge advantage. And we both just like it.
And we have a wonderful group of friends, really wonderful.
From whom we can learn a lot.
However, what's important here is that you have extra money coming in so that you can get to that $100,000 magic figure Charlie recommends much faster. If you can grow your second income source to a point where it settles all your bills and expenses, you can confidently save up all your $2,000 from your job. This way, it'll take you 4 years or less to have that magic $100,000 investment that would change your life for good. Charlie Munger calls this working for yourself. You see, your job doesn't pay you for your skill. They pay you for your time. In other words, you're investing your time in your job and getting paid for it. The thing is, when working jobs, your boss decides what you're worth. However, if you can invest your time in yourself, then you will be the one to decide how much you pay yourself. Investing in yourself here could mean acquiring more knowledge, learning an income-generating skill, and so on. It's these little things that make for great results.
The success came from changing our ways and getting into the better businesses. And it isn't that we were so good at doing things that were difficult. We were good at avoiding things that were difficult, finding things that are easy.
Now that you know how to get that first $100,000, all that's left is to find an ideal investment asset and get that snowball effect rolling. You can check out other videos to find good investment options, or seek a good financial advisor to help you out once you have your $100,000 ready. The important thing is to start now and stay consistent. Remember to subscribe to our channel if you found this content valuable. I'll see you in the next one.